Welcome to the art project. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button. If you enjoy this video or if it's helpful, please give it a thumbs up and tap the bell so you get notifications on future videos. I'm going to do some lettering with my students. We're going to do block letters, and we want to be able to center the block letters, center the name on the paper, and we also want to maybe do something a little bit more creative rather than just straight across. We want to make our letters curve, and so I'm going to show you a couple of advanced techniques to doing that. And by the way, I'm using a 4H pencil and a regular Ticonderoga pencil. And the 4H is for laying out the drawing. It's real light. You don't press down real hard with it or anything. And then the Ticonderoga is a little bit darker. If the word that I want to put down is Elizabeth, Elizabeth, that's a pretty long name. I want to get it to go into a certain area. And so the first thing I want to show you is how to get this centered. The first thing I want to do is I want to find out what the middle letter is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters in Elizabeth. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. This is the middle letter, A. So when I do my picture, if I want it to go from here to here, or at least be centered within that, I've got to find the middle of this space. And this is about the middle right there. If you want to be more precise, fold that in half. That shows, ooh, look how far off I was. So this is the center of the paper right there. And I'm just going to work from there. So I also want my word to be about this tall. That's the top. And this is the bottom. So the first thing I want to show you is just centering this. I'm going to put the A right here. I'm going to go from the top to the bottom. And then I'm going to start with this part of the word. Then I'm going to start with the next letter, which is B. And it's a little bit different if you're doing lowercase letters. I'll show you that in a few minutes. Then the next letter. And I'm freehanding these block letters because I'm pretty good at it. But if you are not good at block letters, I have another video that shows how to do block letters and how to think about block letters. So you can look that video up if you want. I probably have a link to it right here. And now I'm going to go back this way. Start off with the Z. Notice how I started closer to the A, because if I start over here, I could run out of room. Or I might make it too far spaced. All right, there it goes. And so I've got it centered on the paper because I found out where the center was and I worked from the center out. I want to demonstrate being a little bit more creative with it, but still doing what we want to do on purpose. So, for example, what if I want my word to curve something like that? Maybe even start out real big and get smaller. Well, I just drew some guidelines. This is the guide for the top, just like that line right there was the guide for the top. And this is the guide for the bottom, just like that was the guide for the bottom. I also want to find the middle again. Right here, looks like it's the middle still. And so I'm gonna do the same name. Remember, that's the middle of the name. And I'm just gonna go to either side, making sure the top of my letter is here and the bottom of my letter touches the bottom line. So I'm using a layout pencil, and that allows me to draw a lot of lines, as long as I draw lightly, that allow me to fix and manipulate my letters. Remember, make the top of your letter at the top of the line. Make it go all the way down to the bottom line. I'm going to draw a couple little guidelines here so I can be sure and get the Z where I want it to be. Made sure that the top of the letter was at the top of the guideline and the bottom of the letter was at the bottom of the guideline. Now I'm going to take my Sharpie marker, and I'm going to go over it. And again, if you're worried about it being absolutely perfect and you want straight lines, you can use a ruler as you do this. Obviously, you can't use a ruler on this curve, but I'm just freehanding this, and that's fine. All right, the third thing that I want to show you is how this works with like more than one word. So again, I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to find the center of it. The words that I want to do are I love you. And I tell you what, to take this a step further, I'm going to make it sentence case, which means a capital I, a capital L, O, V, E, lowercase. You know what? We'll make the L lowercase too. And lowercase y, O, U. I don't know why I did that. Y-O-U. All right, we'll put a little exclamation point on there too. So I have a capital I and then lowercase letters for everything else because it's sentence case. All right, so the same thing is true before, but we're going to count the spaces as a character. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There are 11 characters. So the middle is going to be 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So this should be the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to draw with my layout pencil. I'm going to draw another crazy shape to follow, and maybe make it fatter on this side. We'll just make it the same all the way across. All right, so I just look at this, and I look at this. This is going to be the top and the bottom. But then the next thing I want to remember is what you remember when you were a kid and you had to do lettering. You were learning lettering in first grade. They'd give you the paper that had a line here and a line here and the dotted line. Well, we're going to do the same thing here. There's a dotted line in the middle. Now you don't have to draw this dotted line. I'm just showing you where it's at. You can think about where it's at, and that's good enough. All right, so the E is the middle, so I'm going to do an E right here on the middle. I'm going to go ahead and make a whole circle so I can divide it in half like this, and like this, and this is my E. This is just a different way of doing the block letters. I'll erase that little spot right there. I'm going to leave a space, and then I'm going to do the Y. Remember, we're following this dotted line in the middle. That's the top of the lowercase letters. And then the bottom of my Y is going to go beyond, and it doesn't really matter how far. Just do what looks right to you. And then an O. And the U. Then I'm going to come back over here and do the V. The O. The L. And then the I. Leaving a space. This is where that is, so straight down from there is where that's going to be. Straight down, slight curve here. All right, and then if I trace it, and then when you're done, you erase the guidelines. There you go. Thanks for watching. Well, that was just some layout tips or some placement tips. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe and tap the bell and go make your own art.